Are you doing okay there, boss? No, I'm not doing okay now there. We're in a bad place right now. Oh, fuck. Oh. So, in the previous stream, I was like, my phone broke, guys, but don't worry. I fixed the problem. I went and I got the 7,000 yen used phone, and we're good to go. We were not good to go. The problem is now fixed, but I spent the last 2 days trying to do something about the whole situation. And it ain't over yet, because now that I have a functional phone, I have to do the in-person phone calls of calling the lifeline, the electricity, the water, the internet companies, and get this, I don't actually get to call them. I have to be fucking on call because there isn't any way for me to just contact them myself. I have to wait with the fucking cell phone next to me so I can fucking answer the cell phone so I can talk to the person who is in charge of connecting my internet. And this can happen at any fucking point in the day. And I already missed 2 calls yesterday. They called me every fucking day. And I've just been missing it this entire time because I don't have a phone. And then I had my phone on, silent mode before that. And I had it off silent mode, like, last night, and I already missed 2 fucking calls. Needless to say, my balls, my testicles feel like they are just, like, tied in a noose right now as my prostate inflammation explodes again. Ugh. Some people are just, they were not built to live on this planet. And by some people, I mean people on the fucking Aspie disorder autism spectrum like myself. You did not have a nice onani no hi yesterday? I feel like this weird shooting pain in my cock besides the dick being, like, choked off with a rope. It's, Also, I might interrupt this stream at any point because I have my phone not on silent mode. If they fucking call me, then I'm answering it on stream. In Japanese. Because I can't fucking be on call any longer, like, that's destroying my mind, so Just fuck my shit up, dog. Just try not to say anything that would dox you. I mean, we'll just turn off my mic, probably. You guys can wait an extra 3 minutes as I draw in silence. Who knows when they're gonna call? They could call anytime. Why the fuck did we set up an entire social thing where it's just like, we're the fucking Spanish Inquisition, nobody expects when we're gonna be? Why can't I just go to your fucking website like, holy fucking shit? It's like, somehow we've created the worst of both worlds in some way. I don't even want to have this internet service provider. They're the same internet service provider that we have right now in the current apartment. I really want to hear you deal with normal people. Shut the fuck up. It's just gonna be me saying stuff like, hai, wakarimashita, hai. Hi, so that, hi. And of course, at some point, they're gonna ask me, like, what my mother's maiden name and, like, social security number, or the equivalent of that in Japanese is. They have to fucking identify me over the phone, so, yeah, let's not have that shit on record. First world problems are a bitch. It's a combination of first world problems combined with the fact that I'm, like, incapable of functioning in, like, any society, but especially first world society. So let me actually tell you what the fuck happened since last stream. After last stream, I was like, okay, I'm done with streaming, I've taken a nap, I have the mental power to start calling the utility companies, let's get this done. I fucking try and call the utility companies. I noticed that for some reason, my phone keeps on cutting out after a little bit, and then I get told that, like, please connect to the internet or the data service provider or some shit. And I realized that this Motorola G8 phone that was made in 2021, a whole 5 years ago, fucking 5 years, guys, is running Android OS 10 or something. And as a result, none of the applications on it work, including the applications required to make a basic fucking phone call. Because it can't, like, even connect to the internet service provider for, like, more than a minute, and then it just, like, fucking crashes and it gives me, like, no bars. And it can't do, like, Wi-Fi calling or anything. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? The phone problem isn't solved? The phone problem, in fact, was not solved. So this is, what's today? Today is a Thursday, right? So this is, yeah, fucking Tuesday. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck am I gonna do? I don't know what to do. First, I need to take time to, like, decide what my fucking phone strategy is right now. Because clearly the strategy of buying old-ass phone doesn't fucking work. So I'm like, okay, now we have to actually, like, study which one of these new-ass phones, or slightly new-ass phones, do I want. And I start looking at doing the default option of looking up shit on Amazon to see if there's, like, you know, some slightly old model that's, like, super cheap or some shit. And that puts you down a whole rabbit hole because all the things that they have that they sell are cheap is, like, it says the carrier, the cell phone carrier, and it says, like, SIM free, and if you go into the fucking comments, there's always, like, 5 comments who are like, it says it's free, the SIM is free, but, I open it and it's fucking locked, and I can't work, and I'm like, oh god, I don't have the time to deal with that shit. I know from firsthand, because I own a Galaxy phone right now that is still connected to my American service provider, Verizon, because I fucking went to the Verizon store in person before I left America, and they told me that the SIM was, you know, unlocked, and I get to Japan, and lo and behold, the SIM was not unlocked. So I can't fucking take the risk of, like, ordering shit off Amazon and, like, replacing my SIM card, because, like, who the fuck knows when it comes to, like, this thing is, like, if you don't have a brick and mortar store that you can take shit back to, that's, like, another extra, like, you know, week of process if you need to, like, try and return that shit. So I'm like, I can't fucking take Verizon guys scammed you. I wish we were living in the timeline in which the reason why shit doesn't work is because people are just scamming you. Unfortunately, it's way worse than that. And it's just that, like, corporations don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't value not ripping you off, but they also just are completely incompetent. I think there's, like, some saying, like, don't, you know, assume evil when you can assume the, you know, Occam's razor answer of it just being incompetence. You can be both, obviously, but in most cases, it's even worse than just being evil. They literally are that retarded, I think, is the actual real problem. It's very painful. Don't assume malice when it's likely stupidity. Yes. If they could achieve the malice part, they would do it, but they're actually too fucking stupid to even do that. Man, this Lo-Fi Beats AI music channel is sounding especially Lo-Fi Beats AI right now. It sounds like they took, like, one part of a Ghibli song and are just playing in a fucking loop. I just don't have the energy to listen to this shit right now, which is a very bad sign. Oh, I'm glad you noticed it too, LOL. I should probably unsub from that channel. It's really annoying. They literally just took, like, one chord from a Ghibli song and put it into the AI shit machine, and then was like, please poop out 2 hours worth of this, and we'll call it Lo-Fi Tokyo Beats or something. It's stupidity for sure. I had to Uber back and forth in 110 degrees in heat because of some retard giving me a phone that wouldn't come on. Yeah. It do be like that. So I solved this problem by being like, wait, is there just a store for my fucking phone carrier which is Rakuten, the Japanese Amazon-esque company that wants to be Amazon. This is by far like the cheapest of any of the major phone carrier options you can have in Japan, because they do the thing where they don't have their own network and they sort of attach themselves to other phones' networks, and then you have to pay way, way less. And then they make up the difference by making sure that if you own a Rakuten phone, you get free text and calling, unlimited amounts of text and phone calls, but you have to open this app inside the fucking phone, which is also attached to the Rakuten store. So the Rakuten company has basically done the calculation of like, if we make it so that they literally have to open the fucking shopping app in order for them to do anything, we will be able to trick a bunch of stupid women to buy, Labubus on Rakuten every single time they open their phone, and will pay for themselves in like a week. And this is obviously a good combination with me, because I am in no risk of buying anything on Rakuten just because I opened their app. But like I can see how their business strategy works pretty obviously. However, it was a bad combination with me trying to get a cheap smartphone, because that also means I have to open the fucking app and have to have the app functional just in order to, make a fucking phone call. And if this phone from 2021 is completely, no longer relevant, I can't use it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to a Rakuten store, like the actual cell phone store. This is what I was doing with America. Just go to the fucking cell phone store, make sure the fucking phone works while I'm in the store. This will solve any problems. I look ahead of time, and so I have to decide, like, what kind of new-ass phone do I want? Because now we have to get a new phone, not a used phone. Used cell phone doesn't work, apparently. That is not a strategy. So I look up what they have in the store, and I see one in a good price range, and it is this one right here. Something you probably have never heard of. The Arrows Wii 2 F52E. Is it just me, or does the term Arrows sound like the name of one of the enemy factions in like a Gundam anime season? In fact, I feel like there literally was like a Gundam faction or a Gundam team called Arozu. But it's made by a Japanese company, i.e. like Fuji. It used to be a Fujitsu company, and then they went bankrupt because Japanese fucking suck at making and selling cell phones. So now they're like owned by Lenovo, which also owns Motorola. And I like Motorola. They're in like the same factory setup as Motorola, apparently. Get the Xiaomi that comes with camera lenses. I already bought my phone. Also, fuck China and fuck Chinese phones. We're gonna see if the Japanese phone is better off than the Chinese phone. Who the fuck knows? Wow, this is super energetic music. This is better. Balam Garden. You mean like naming conventions? I bet if I look up Arozu right now, if I look up Arozu anime, there will be like something in anime that I literally just forgot existed. I'm sure there was something called Arozu. Not really. It's just my brain playing tricks on me. Interesting. You're probably thinking Green Arrow? No, I'm not thinking Green Arrow. You guys don't fucking get it. I'm talking about the Japanese, like, katakana saying of arrows, not like English arrow, like the actual word for the actual arrow thing. Like, I'm talking like... First thing, it's a fucking plural. I'm talking about, like, Japanese naming shit off of English words just because they like the general sound of it. It just sounds like something where there'd be like a specific faction, like the Titans, except in Japanese it's Titanzu, like in fucking Zeta Gundam and shit like that. Anyways, so I look at it, I look at what they're promoting, I look at some YouTuber, like phone YouTubers and their opinion on it, and they're like, okay. They say that this is like a basic ass smartphone, and it's like super durable, like that's kind of what I want. So I try and go to the fucking Rakuten shop, and because I had already taken like, you know, fucking 6 hours trying to get my ass up and figure out what I was gonna do, it's like right near closing time, and also I hadn't done enough research and didn't recognize that I was like, I want the fucking Arrows phone, and they were like, oh, sorry, we've already, only have like the ones that we reserved for customers that already called ahead of time, and I'm like, fuck. And afterwards I realized they were talking about the new Arrows phone instead of the old-ass Arrows phone that I was trying to buy. See, I was trying to buy a cheaper priced one because it was released in 2024, but they just came out with a new one, so they were like, sorry, we only have, like, the reserved versions of the new one. So I fucking wasted, like, a solid, you know, 3 or 4 hours, like, walking to that location, because it's like a 30 or 40 minute walk in the fucking burning ass heat, and then being like, ooh, what am I gonna do? And then I came back and I realized, like, fuck, what am I doing? I'm making poor decisions now because I'm like, shit, I have to get this phone shit resolved because I need to call the fucking utilities, or I won't even have electricity when I get to my new apartment. So that was day one. Now yesterday, I was like, okay, we figured this shit out. They probably have this phone in the closest train station where it's just like a multi-provider store, a different electrical store. So I go there. I was like, can I just buy this phone? And then the woman who's working there, it's like a combined store for like 8 different cell phone carriers. And they're like, hey, if you switch to our carrier, we'll give you the fucking phone for free. It's basically 1 yen, and I'm just like, shit, do I want to make that calculation? I don't like changing carriers, I don't like changing shit. This is very typical Asperger-y problem. I'm like, I just want to have the same thing, just let me buy the product. But then I came to the conclusion that it's like, wait, this is a phone in 2024. If the phone that was made in 2021 is unusable in 2026, you have like a 4 to 5 year window in which I can use a fucking smartphone. So I better not just be like, I'm gonna buy it at full price. So I would fucking change my carrier from the cheapest option, which is Rakuten, to a more expensive option, which I don't need. But I got the 22,000 yen phone for free, and I will be able to change carrier again pretty quickly, within a year or so. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm on NTT Docomo now, and then I'm just gonna fuck them over in like a year and then not pay any extra money and then, you know, get another cheaper carrier. What an adventure and a half. And then the whole like changing the cell phone provider process took me like, I don't know, a solid 2 hours, 2+ hours, partially because the person, they were like, they had to call up the main office and they were like, were you in the Adachi district of Tokyo? And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. What? I was in Japan in 2010 in Chiba again. I might have been Adachi district. They're like, I don't know. It might be someone with the same name as you. I was like, I did. Then I was like, fuck yeah. I might have left in 2010. I think I left Japan without like properly canceling my phone bill. I just had it running, and they're like, ooh, this might be difficult. We might not be able to do the contract with you because like you're on a blacklist. I'm like, fuck. Is my past coming to haunt me? I don't remember anything I did in 2010 because I was like, I had just graduated college and I was just like, fuck, I can't get a job. Fuck this. I'm going back to America. And I didn't like do any of the necessary shit. So for a second, I thought that my past was going to bite me. And they're like, no, it was just someone with the same name as you. I was like, what the fuck? What is this? Is God just fucking trolling me? For your information, my Japanese legal name is not something like Suzuki Taro or some shit like that. It's pretty fucking uncommon. It's extremely uncommon name. So now just God is just fucking absolutely dicking my prostate right now. So I was able to get the phone for free. It's actually 1 yen. I think there's like some sort of Japanese law against just straight up giving you shit for free. So you have to go through the process of like giving them a single yen. So now we have a functional phone made in Japan. We're going to see how well this holds up. How many years it goes before it becomes unusable. But it's not like the American phone package where they're like, we'll give you the phone for free, quote unquote free, if you change carriers, in which you're actually like, the cost of the phone is being subsidized by your increased cost plan. This is the same cost plan as if I had like my own phone, so I'm not actually paying anything extra, which is good, I guess. I can just like fucking dump them for a cheaper carrier after a year. So I guess that's what we've learned from this experience, is that these are today's learning experiences. 1, do not try to buy used smartphone. Example 1, battery death after 6 months. This was my first 2021 phone. And this was also 2021. This was an 8,000 yen phone that ended up being usable for 6 months, and this is a 7,700 phone that ended up being completely worthless out of the get-go. The moral of the story is you have like about 4 years with your fucking phone, and after that, like, it's up for grabs, because that is the speed at which, like, operating systems and batteries deteriorate. And the app makers will literally be building everything around the assumption that you have the newest fucking version of the operating system, and they will make sure that their apps are completely just, like, unusable. Instead, frequently switch between carriers to get free phones. This is the conclusion right here. How long is the contract they got you in? I checked. It's not like I'm locked in. It's just like I have to pay a few thousand yen to get out of it if it's just a year. And if it's more than a year, it's just like... it's not real big money is the answer. I can't believe humanity has rallied around planned obsolescence. Actually, the real one is your phone is trash. This is the real answer right here. Not like in a metaphorical sense, in a very literal sense. Your phone is electronic waste. It's not a permanent object. It's an object full of all these rare metals that were mined out of, you know, the local African village using the most invasive mining techniques possible. And it's usable for like 2 or 3 years. And afterwards, you have to fucking dump it, and then they'll recycle the metals or something, maybe, or maybe not. How the fuck do you know? But you are literally carrying around a piece of electronic waste in your pocket. Don't get attached to it, and I guess nobody does. I'm a fucking fool for thinking that I should get attached to it. God forbid you try and reuse your old phone. Yeah. It just is not... It is purposefully not meant to last. And if they don't fucking brick your phone on purpose, then it will just die on its own. I was very lucky that my last cell phone lasted almost 6 years. Yeah. And it's not like the date from which you start using it, although that also affects like the amount of battery you have. It's the date at which it was made, because you're on a fucking ticking time bomb in terms of the operating system being out of date. So I checked my current phone operating system. It was released in August 2024. It's on Android 14. We're already on like, or it might be 15. I can't remember actually. It's 14 or 15. We're already on, yeah, it's on 15. And we're already on Android fucking 17. It's been a year and a half and we're already 2 fucking updates, OS updates down the line. So how many years before it's, you know, completely unusable? Who knows? You can update your OS, but that doesn't mean your OS will operate with your phone. My phone lasted 5 before battery exploded. Hazardly piece of shit, man. That's another reason why I don't want to have a Chinese-made phone. This might end up being just as much shitty as a Chinese phone. Who the fuck knows? But I just kind of feel like if it's Chinese-made, the chances of shit exploding are going to be higher. The thing, I just don't want an object in my pocket that can start burning, like, insanely hot at any point. Obviously, it's the same battery manufacturer at the end of the day, but who knows, man. Might be Korean made. It basically happens in any of these devices. It's really not, because like all of the shit is the same. Most of it is in the same kind of factories. The phone I got Apparently it's a Japanese factory, but like a lot of the technology comes from like the parent company is Lenovo, so it's still Chinese. You can't escape being in the Chinese sphere of influence for this shit. That is true 100%. So it was a Samsung tablet that Boom on a play. If you watch like the anti-Chinese YouTube videos, they have an endless supply of various battery-powered devices in China just sort of burning insanely. There's just like an endless amount of these, so... And if it's not like a cell phone battery, but like a electric bike or something, the burning just becomes all the more impressive. Entire car parks just like burning down from top to bottom because of the batteries going up. Also, the reason why, among the cheaper phone options, the new phone options, one of the recommended ones was Galaxy phone, but that is the phone I own right now. That my American phone is a fucking Galaxy, and I had no problems with my Samsung Korean like anti-Japanese phone for the first few years of it, and one day it just like updated itself, and you know what I got? Like when I'm at the lock screen, it's like, you know, you get the time, and then it's like, I don't know if anybody else gets this in their Android operating system, and it's like, amazing Robin Patterson moment. Artisanal glass beads. You won't believe. Heartwarming story. I get all of these insane clickbait shit at the bottom of my fucking phone lock screen ads. You know, the most cheapest, most bullshit boomer bait clickbait ads. It's clearly female boomer bait, not just like boomer bait. The stuff that you would never click on unless you were clicking the wrong icon by mistake in a trillion years, but they're like, he will appreciate this shit. I thought they were just contained on Android emulators. This isn't like a phone that I got for cheap with the understanding agreement that I would also get ads on my screens to pay for the cheap phone. I paid full price for my fucking Samsung Galaxy. This was one of the better ones that had like, cost me like, I don't know, $300 or something. Because I was doing DoorDash at the time, so I was like, okay, we're gonna get a better phone that does like really good 5G, so I have better reception while I'm driving DoorDash, right? And like, it doesn't have it for the first few years, and they were like, hey guys, you know how we could make more money? If we just started like spamming the most spammiest clickbait bullshit into people's phones just like one day. And there might be a way for me to turn it off, but like, I'm in Japan now, so I don't even fucking bother. I'm just like, fuck this company. You won't believe the nip slip moment. I have definitely seen nip slip moment ones, yes. Do they think that we're retarded enough to click on it. I guess the boomers are actually retarded enough to click on that shit. Boomers are extremely gullible creatures. They can't help themselves when they hear that there's a nip-slip moment. LG monitors come with spyware now. Yeah, I have an LG monitor right now because it was like the cheapest shit on Amazon. Both LG and Samsung are what Amazon recommends that you get when you're looking for like a cheap device when you buy shit there. We're gonna see if I start to get ads at some point. My monitor actually might be so cheap that it doesn't have the internet connection, which means that it won't get the ads. I don't know. They want me to install like some kind of LG fucking, you know, Windows update spyware shit, but I've just been like, no, I won't install it. And I don't know if they can force me to install it like they can with phones. We're gonna find out at some point, I guess. It comes with Windows 11. Don't. Yeah, well, we're gonna try and not update, I guess. That will just be like number 5078 of reasons not to update to Windows 11, I guess. Chalk it down on the list of so many fucking things. Monitor with internet connection. I mean, isn't that how they show you the ads? They can't show you. They have to have some way to connect to the internet. Maybe it's like they force you to install the software and then you're just like getting the ads on your computer. Reminder that I thought that my PlayStation 4 was broken and I bought a PlayStation 5 from a scalper because I didn't want to deal with, like, I was playing them in the middle of Elden Ring and it turned out that it wasn't my PS4 that was broken. It was the timer inside my fucking monitor that had anti-piracy measures for the HDMI cable. HDMI, not like a free format, some sort of corporate format, and they wanted to make sure that you weren't using your HDMI to pirate shit. So they were like, your shit is out of date, we're just gonna black screen you. I was like, what the fuck is this? I couldn't it took me forever to figure this out. I didn't think that was what monitors were, but I'm pretty sure my monitor was not connected to the internet, so they had a fucking timer inside it, is what happened. Crazy, right? What a world we live in. And by what a world, I mean a dystopian, horrible future in which every single thing we do has been corrupted by corporate bullshit. Your PS4 was okay then? Did you actually sell it or hoard it until you could get it fixed? My PS4 is in the storage unit along with my fully functional PS3, fully functional PS2, fully functional PS1, and fully functional PS5. Say what you will about Sony, the fucking PlayStations, everyone I've owned has held up remarkably well. None of them have died on me, it seems. You're quite the Sony guy. I mean, I just want a fucking functional video game system that plays the video game. It's not my fault that all the other competitors have, you know, horrible fucking business practices or their shit just dies. I just want the hardware that plays the game. Unfortunately, this is asking for quite a lot at this point. I flip-flop between PS2 to X360 to eventually PC. I had an Xbox 360, and you know what happened to it? The same thing that happened to literally every Xbox 360 on the planet. It died. It died the horrible red ring of death. Like a pure innocent child during the bubonic plague. It developed the red ring of death, and despite our prayers to Jesus, it had to be set down. And I did send it in to get fixed. The red ring of death is funny because it's an example in which of a corporate fuck up that's so bad that it actually goes full circle and becomes a benefit to the consumers because they have to fix the shit for free because they literally bricked every single piece of hardware they produced. Sony has YLOD, yes, but it didn't happen to me. Every piece of electronic failure, every piece of electronic equipment has a failure rate. The question is, like, how high is the failure rate? People who are like, oh, mine is fine, oh, mine broke, it doesn't really mean that much. What's amazing about the Xbox 360 is that the failure rate was essentially 100%. There are very few pieces of electronic equipment where the failure rate of like 1 year of use is actually like fucking 100%. It means that they did literally zero testing. Because like, usually you have a testing department specifically for this, and there's no way that you wouldn't have been able to discover the red ring of death if you did like the normal like 10,000 hours testing and shit that like Toyota would do on all of its parts. Which means they did actually no testing at all. Microsoft is an insanely incompetent company that has just been allowed to continue to exist despite all their failings because they have a functional monopoly on Office software. Testing, what's that? It really do be like that. I wonder if they made all of their hardware in India. It would make sense. Their leader is Indian, yeah, but he wasn't in power during the Xbox 360 years. But I do think that they might have been already producing their shit in India even at the time. Nice booty curve. I'm specifically looking at references of other artists to draw my ass curves because I will just draw the same pose every single time instead of forcing myself to improve. So we're looking at J. Scott Campbell right now. Also, I basically have finally figured out what kind of like pen combos I'm using, so that allows me to be more specific in terms of the artists I'm using. People say using for inspiration, but I'm literally just like fucking copying. Did your auction go well? No, my auction was the lowest of all time, which is like a serious problem. So I'm getting hit with like multiple stress right now, being forced to do like normie shit like moving, and then also being like the constant stress of getting your money off of the internet, being an internet person in which, you know, your relevance can go up or down at any point. People be like, I don't think anyone actually says this, but if anyone was like, God, I wish I could live my life like BaalBud, he doesn't have to go to the office, is like, yeah, enjoy looking at your Patreon, monthly Patreon bucks go down every month, and then being like, well, I wouldn't sub to him if I was, you know, had money. It's great. It's a miracle that I get any money from online drawing in the first place, so it was only $250, which is by far the lowest I have gotten in terms of an auction price. Of course, I just came off like some of the most money I've made from a commission with just the previous one because Y-san gave me a shit ton of money, but 250, fuck? Yeah, people weren't paying attention. For anybody who wanted to get a commission, this was your chance to get a really cheap one. And by really cheap, still extremely expensive by other commission standards, I guess. Considering I still charge for labor cost and people do commission for like $200 and shit anyways, but it is vacation season. It really, the reason why these prices go up is just because it's two people dick measuring contests against each other. It really doesn't have much to do with like a greater market. It's just like two dudes. Literally one guy versus other one guy. So if you don't get the power of the one guy going full force, it can go pretty low. I have a lot of money saved up specifically for this reason. Blame it on AI. I mean, there is the possibility it was AI. I don't know. Like, it's kind of impossible to tell whether AI actually affects shit like commission prices. My general opinion is that it was never going to, because anybody who wants to pay extra money for an artist and can have that artist replaced by AI, I don't think they were going to commission the artist in the first place. There is like a very small subset of commissioners, I believe, who the reason that they need to commission is because they need something very specific drawn. And those people, they can get that thing created by AI. But for people who want the value of the artist drawing something for themselves, which I think is a broader percentage of the commissioner population, AI obviously isn't a substitute for that, so Where's Fart Fetish Guy? The Fart Fetish Guy that I was talking about is a Mexican, so he does not have any way to commission me at my current prices. Like mech designs that actually have some actual detailing, like hydraulics and joints instead of detail salad. LMAO. Yeah. Mech design, wanting like specific mech design that comes together in a way that makes sense is definitely like AI kryptonite. It's gotten better, but it used to not even be able to make a gun. For those of you who weren't looking at AI, a classic AI gun would be like the angle of one barrel would be like this, and then the rest of the barrel for the rest of the gun would be at like literally a different angle. Like there would be no way for the gun to go through this like tube. That's like AI gun right there, and then of course the details would just be like detail salad. It's gotten a little bit better, but not that much better. I still see like 6 fingers pretty regularly. It's really more of a skill issue on the people who are making the AI at this point. But guns have a lot of details, and anything that has a lot of details is often subject to the AI being like, I put a lot of details in it. Even though the straight lines don't connect to each other. The problem is, even though the AI gets better, if you're an AI company that wants to make $1 trillion, you still have to pay somebody to, you know, finagle the AI, so ultimately you're still paying one person. You're exactly in the same location, which is that you were before, which is trying to find a really cheap person that will work for peanuts. It's just that you're just going to replace the one artist that is underpaid with a Indian prompter, and then your monthly subscription to Anthropic or whatever, and then that ends up costing you the same amount or probably more because the subscription is extremely expensive actually, and that you've been subsidized until now. A skill gap in AI. I thought AI was supposed to lower the bar of entry for art. I still think AI is a useful tool. However, there is... the problem is this. It's one of those things that theoretically it should be a useful tool, but just like crypto, if you look at the real-world examples of how it's used, it's only used by scammers. And ultimately the products that come out of it do not reflect this usefulness at all, because anybody who was actually going to use it for a tool of good, they don't use it in the first place. Theoretically, it should just be a tool, but that is not what it is at all. It just ends up being a scam baiting shit. Who could have foreseen that? It makes no sense. And if people rely on it too much, it shows. The problem is that there isn't like, it's not like trained professionals and then some of it are relying it on too much. It's only trained professionals who don't use it in the first place and are faster without using it, and then just like scammers who can't create anything without it. There's no really any real balance there. I could use it to make backgrounds, but I can just go on Blender to do that. That's the thing, right? There was already a million free images that you could have used that are already on the internet. Which is also what the AI is trained on in the first place. No matter how far you go, it just ends up being a a cheaper copy of something that already existed on the internet. What if we took an image that is already good on the internet and then we mixed in a bunch of random variables and made it, less relevant, is what AI is. So Clip Studio also gives you a ton of options for backgrounds. It do be like that. I will say that AI is very useful when you're trying to fiddle with your phone and you don't want to have to read the specs. And you just type in to Google and being like, how do I do this specific? Where is the battery saver function in the settings of my new phone? It's really good for that shit, man. Because, man, like, trying to flip through the spec sheet for the instruction sheet to find, like, the menu and what part of the phone is where is what and stuff like that. It definitely helps with that type of shit. Stuff in which, like, you have to confirm, you're going to confirm whether it really is that case in real life or not on your own, and you're going to confirm right now. And even if it's wrong, then you just try something else and it doesn't cause like a catastrophic failure of the system. These things AI is extremely good at. And it definitely saved me a lot of time yesterday when I was like fiddling with all the settings and I couldn't figure out like where the battery saver setting is and stuff like that. But that isn't taking anyone's job, and it isn't really improving profits for the company that created the AI, right? So you can see why all of these companies are in trouble, because it's like, how do you make money off of that? It makes a human being slightly more efficient, but it doesn't actually, improve the amount of money directly a company makes. Sam Altman deserves an atomic wedgie. American AI profiteering is so embarrassing. It's not like Sam Altman was Sam Altman or Mark Zuckerberg or any of these guys were doing anything helpful for society in the first place, so we just have a slightly worse version of everything, that's all. I think we should just make our tech overlords get inside a ring and slap each other. I want to see them try and fight each other. We deserve that. I want to see the pathetic slap fight between Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Dario Amodei. I want to see them like try and hurt each other and like desperately fail because they all are completely out of shape. Except Elon. That guy's a fucking tank. Look at all that fat he has on him. We can only hope that AI becomes so inconvenient monetarily to use and sufficiently stigmatized that more and more people and eventually organizations stop using it besides its original expected usage of database phrasing. Yeah, well, we have yet to see what it looks like when you actually have to pay the cost of tokens. Do we have anyone here? I know there's like, who runs his local models on... in the Discord? Was it Lithium who runs the local models? If you want to have a local model that's like slightly nice, it costs you a shit ton of money. You need to have like a 5090 or whatever. I don't think there's like a budget version of local AI running. At least Amadane feels like the more human guy in the room. I disagree. I dislike him just as much as Sam Altman. There is no version of these people that I like. I fucking despise all of them. The ass needs to be bigger. Ass we can. Maybe I change the leg angle so I get a different angle of the ass as a whole. I don't want to see only one ass cheek. I want it a little bit. We have to think in terms of how the hips are and how wide. I have to think of like, what is the line, the ass line? If you draw enough pictures, you can understand how AI prompting is effective, because there really are only so many angles and poses. Like, we've kind of figured out the attractive angles of the human body and stuff. There, they fit together like Tetris pieces. You say that, but I feel like I still see art with crazy good, unique poses. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, it might just be a skill issue on my part now that I think about it. Who knows? Just be yourself, guys. Do I want the leg like this? What category do JoJo poses fall under? Distracting is how I would put them. If you want to ignore physical anatomy, or at least do poses that would be very difficult for the average person without, like, breaking their spine, there's a lot of shit you can still do. But get prepared for people to be like, oh, he's doing that, you know, pose of that thing. When you go for like maximum stylishness, then people it will stand out, but also it's kind of like, you know, it can also take away from the verisimilitude if you're going full JoJo and stuff. Also, it's a little too late because, you know, everyone will be like, he's doing the JoJo pose, even if you're not, you know, even if that's not what you're going for. Everyone's like, is that a JoJo reference now? So like once one person has done it, you can't do the same thing again. You have to think of something new. Aren't a lot of those taken from fashion magazines? Yes. Sometimes literally, like, just the exact same pose. Araki has been sued successfully in the past for plagiarism, so... he gets away with it because people like JoJo so much. It's a good example to show that if you produce something good enough, people don't care that you're plagiarizing. The end result of the JoJo experience is better than the sum of the parts in which were plagiarized, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess I shouldn't have to explain this when the entirety of the core mechanic of the battle system is named off of Western music artists that he likes, and thus, if you are watching the English version of the JoJo experience, you are getting stuff like, I will use my stand, insane, diamond. I forgot what crazy diamond is called. My powerful stand, white Caucasian ice cream. I feel like just referencing poses should fall under fair use. I don't know, man. It's like all things. It was probably just settled by the publishing company. It's not a big deal. Crazy diamond with shining diamond, LMAO. Flaccid Pancake takes it, though? Wait, is that an actual name? For what? For Limp Biscuit? LOL. I guess that makes sense. Zipper Man, yeah. Have you guys seen the, hold on. Latest Limp Bizkit Kino by my favorite Japanese mix-up artist. Real high quality shit. The WWE callback is also great. That's all? Life! I think his video editing has really improved a lot. The timing in which he makes sure that he puts in, like, the idols doing the, doing their winks and stuff. Watch a life. Excellent content. Why is all our music of our teenage years somehow more relevant right now than everything else? I don't understand. I guess it's just the power of the internet in which we decide what's good and then we just keep on going back to it instead of being like, that's old person music, right? I mean, it is just also an issue of everything is worse, but it's also like we can't really move on from the shit that was good because it's still there online. All the shit being produced now is boring. It really do be like that. I don't know where you get Limp Bizkit being relevant. LOL, Limp Bizkit is still relevant. We're getting fucking Crazy Taxi 3. I know that's not Limp Bizkit, but it's the exact same energy. The zoomies and alphas never developed taste, and the taste, when they did develop it, was awful. Hold on, my phone made a noise. Nope, it's just a fucking random message, not the utility company trying to call me. Jesus Christ, this is awful. Are these WoW characters? Kind of. You don't like mumble rap? I have a few issues with mumble rap, yes. I think I should just draw using the straight line tool. It simplifies a lot of it, and it doesn't make me, like, fucking confused. Just distill the angles down to a more basic format. New tech unlocked. I was watching a how-to video by a professional animator, and one of the things he said was, like, all the people that he know are good. They just draw using straight lines, not necessarily the straight line tool, but the better the person is, the more they tend to, like, understand, the more they tend to, like, break shit down to the most basic forms, and trying to do, like, the curvature of lines is often too complicated already. So it's just better to just be like, just think of shit as squares and just, like, do everything using straight line tool. Not the tool, but just, like, straight line. Think of everything in terms of straight lines. Like, what are your primary driving forces of your lines? And don't even try to put in the curvature. Now that everything has been fully broken down, I can make sure that, yeah, everything is kind of in order. I can really kind of feel. Let's see how well this works. When you're trying to find, like, the right angle, for example, for the hips and the pelvis that both is anatomically accurate, and you're trying to make it look good, this might actually be a really, really good way of doing it. This allows me to see that I feel like the lower body needs to be slightly lower, the ass needs to be lower. Yeah, this is good. Someone will see this and say, God, that's hot. Yeah, well, people say that out of everything. I mean, it is hot. Look at this. You can see the female body pretty well, even in these extremely basic line forms. I think I've seen that video before. Can't remember the YouTuber though. Probably different person, because I'm watching like a Japanese animator dude who's only speaking in Japanese, and it wasn't like an entire video themed about it. It was just like him talking off the cuff. I think a lot of people have reached that conclusion, probably. There's just so much information you have to think about when you're drawing, right? So, anything to make it more simple. Back in my day, the women in games were sexy. The women in games. Back when we didn't have enough triangles to properly represent a round boob, so they have to be like sharp, pointy cones. It was a more civilized time. You all wank too much. They've added unibrows and mustaches to women. Females in chat, close your ears because I'm going to have to drop a truth nuke on you for 1 second. It really does come down to the endemic issue of female jealousy. Women just subconsciously cannot tolerate men being attracted to other women, and thus they want to make the object of male desire and sexual pleasure to be less attractive because it is a inherent competitive threat to them, to their very existence. The problem is that this is all happening on a subconscious level, so there isn't anybody to like point out to them that this is irrational because it's just a video game character. As soon as women were allowed to enter the video game development space, this was bound to happen. At least if we're limiting them to just like Western women who have normie sensibilities, which a lot of them do. If we were only letting Japanese women who are inherent sexual predators toward other women and just care about kawaii pantsu and stuff, it would have been fine, but Stellar Blade is Infinity Nikki with jiggle physics. I'll live. The ass is too fat, and the neck is too thin, and the face is too childish for Stellar Blade. Also, the gameplay is too oriented around parrying, so I will not be playing it. Also, my PS5 is in America, so... Dark elves or regular elves, which is superior? Generally speaking, dark elves. I think the best combination is mating with your sadistic dark elf wife while the incel light elf has to sit in the cuck corner and watch you as she cries salty tears. I think that's the best combo. The brown ones or the gray ones? There's also blue ones and purple ones. When the shitty Summer Games Fest or whatever was going, literally the only game that made me pay attention was Stellar Blade. That's real low for games as a whole. It's time to give up, guys. The games industry has suffered a catastrophic failure, and it won't recover for another, 5 years at minimum. It's just time to tune out and go outside and enjoy the insane amount of cicada noise. Enjoy your hearing damage as you listen to the 10 trillion cicadas screaming into the void before they ultimately die. You weren't hyped for Mom of Cube? Does the Cube fuck her? Is there, Cube bestiality? Is she like, no, Cube-san, I'm ovulating right now. It's not a safe day. And then she has, a cube-shaped belly bump and has to shit out the Rubik's Cube, the gelatin cube out of her vagina. That would be fucking sexy. Are safe days even real? I mean, some women are infertile. That happens. Back in the day, if your wife was having safe days, you would curse her for being a failure as a woman and dooming your bloodline. And you would have to, get the Catholic Church to give you a divorce so you could get a different bride. And then when your next bride also didn't have children, you would at no point be like, perhaps the problem was with my own semen. No, you'd be like, this wife is also cursed. Catholic Church, I need a different wife. She's dead, isn't she? Is she still fertile in the underworld? Hold on. Let's check Rule 34 right now to see if there's any, images of her getting fucked by the cube. This is the kind of important journalistic research that we do on this stream. Faye God of War 238 images. There must be at least one cube fucking scene. Come on. Nope, I'm seeing 0 cube fucking so far. The internet is worthless. A lot of futa content here. I think there's some sort of unspoken internet rule where the less conventionally attractive the female is, or more old and Western pause she is, the higher the chance of her having a futa cock. Lots of futa content. Well, no cube sex. The internet has failed me once again. You could probably make a good doujin with a cube pro tag, maybe. I mean, Taimanin already did the cube as the sexual object, in which the female was a cube. But it's time to reverse the roles and make the cube into the sexual aggressor. And her being like, no, Cube-san! Not the corners! Ah! Sexy. High-quality cube sex. Not wrong, but it's def true. The older the art, the more futa art there is. There is a specific segment of the internet that likes Western female hags and not like anime hag that looks exactly the same as her 16-year-old daughter, but like they like the actual hag aspects in which like you can see the wrinkles and stuff. And they often like huge, fat, fake tits. It's like the Real Housewives body type. There are some people who like their fruit to be, like, actually rotting instead of just ripe. Was the cube in Taimanin where someone gets encased in a concrete cube, or is it not that? There's two versions. I happen to be an expert on this subject. Let me explain. I assume you have seen the concrete cube image. The concrete cube image you're talking about is from... I forgot the subtitle of it, but Toako. Toako Lilith Soft. Inyo Kishi Toako. Onmyo Night Toako is, yeah, I forgot that you read Inyo as Onmyo. This is the Toako version of the cube, in which, in one of the versions in which she loses, her and her trusty, accomplice are found stuck inside a concrete cube. Except I'm drawing it wrong because they conveniently made sure that the usable parts were exposed. And people are like, yo, what is this object in front of the office today? Call maintenance. This is it's in front of the fire hydrant. Remove the women stuck inside the concrete cube. And of course, there's all sorts of yogurt. Everybody is covered in yogurt, by the way. The beautiful texture of the concrete cube has been ruined from all the yogurt that was spilled on it. This is cubification 1, but this is not the cubification that people generally talk about. This is just help step bro, I'm stuck, taken to the extreme. You need like a 5-ton forklift or something just to transport the I'm stuck step bro situation to the front of the office building. The famous cube is this one, in which the female themselves is directly changed into a cube-like object. And then you can sort of put it in your living room. And she's like, my corners are sensitive. Common knowledge that when you cubify a woman, her most sensitive parts are the corners of the three-dimensional object. Oh lord, he's about to draw it. She is literally a cube, yes. Don't rub my corners, Oni-chan. Didn't they make keychains or a figure of her at one point? I'm sure there are Taimanin cube keychains if you want them. They have so many different Taimanin merchandise. None of them is great, but yeah. It's a shame that they stopped making actual visual novel style games and went down the dark path of gacha, but unfortunately it do be like that. I don't think her cube pussy would feel that good. Wow. I can't believe people you would just make that assumption before you've tried it out. How can you hate on the cube pussy if you've never tried fucking the cube pussy? How would you even know? That's just like your opinion, man. I think I saw the image before, but I think I purged it from my memories. How could you purge it from your memories? I think about fucking the cube on a daily basis. BB basically saying would. I mean, she still has her normal facial features and stuff. It's like they're towing the line between something that doesn't look like a human but actually still kind of looks like a human. So yeah, it's close enough. There's a lot of pussy packed in one place. I feel like my dick could get ripped out if there was any contraction on her end. Too dense. I mean, some of these Taiwanese females already have that problem, even if you don't cubify them, because they have like abnormal levels of strength and stuff. Why are people terrified of the cube vaginal contractions when they also are willing to stick their penis inside women's mouths? The mouth is not a sexual organ, despite what we've been, trained to believe, guys. It is, in fact, a dangerous hole full of these very hard bones with some of the strongest muscular strength in the body. And if a human is startled at any point, sometimes they reflexively choose to bite down. Are you sure you want to stick your penis in that hole, guys? And everyone's like, haha, don't care, right? That doesn't stop anybody. I'm willing to take the risk. Say what you will about, like, hentai females. They are super polite when it comes to the whole, like, biting guys' cocks off. Even ones that are like, I will never submit to you, evil orc man. Trust me, I will kill you no matter what happens. They're not like, also I will bite your cock off, because that would be, uncool. The dudes don't want to think about how their cock might be bit off when they stick it inside a woman's mouth. I always think about this whenever I see, like, porn where that's like, my girlfriend was giving me a blowjob while I was driving. I was just like, that's just like one accident away of your cock getting bit off by your girlfriend, dude. I always think about that. To be fair, mouth, ass, and pussy all originate from the same type of tissue. If you're going to say that, you could just say that everything originates from stem cells anyways, so... If you possess the possibility of getting your dick bit off by a woman, either you're the worst dude ever or she's feral. But all these guys are having, like, relaxing blowjobs while driving in the car. And all that happens is for some other driver to, hit your car, fishbone your car, and like she's gonna like reflexively chomp down on your cock as her jaw closes from the impact. Yeah, you can just hit a pothole and your cock might get bit off. It's just a really, really bad strategy. They literally had that happen in American Gods? Yeah. I'm surprised more people don't think about the possibility of this shit happening. It should be on the top of your mind. I feel like you need stronger force to bite off a hard cock. I think you're overestimating the durability of people's dicks. The human... How many pounds of pressure is the human jaw capable of producing when biting down? Question mark. The average human jaw can produce a bite force of about 120 to 160 pounds per square inch on the back molars. Through extreme clenching or records can reach over 200 to 275 pounds. Pounds per square inch. I always wonder what there's there for the giver when giving a blowjob. Is it actually tasty? But at that point, I would be fighting my instinct to not take a bite. I mean, you can just get on Grindr and see if you can fight your instinct. I'm sure there's plenty of dudes who would let you experiment with that on Grindr if you wanted to, you know, try and figure that out. The appeal of blowjobs, giving a blowjob yourself. It's not an action that is limited to the females, that's for sure. Some may say that it's an action that the women who think that they're skilled at are actually not skilled at it at all, and it's actually the the non-women who are the best at the blowjob techniques. Guys, that's not the force you'd use when you're startled. That's when you put all your strength into a bite. I mean, getting hit in like a car accident, I think you're gonna bite down pretty fucking hard though. Like, people bite off their tongues pretty frequently in shit like car accidents if their mouth is in the wrong position. You can like bite into your tongue by mistake. I mean, think about the last time you bit your tongue by mistake. I bit my tongue like the other day just by like chewing incorrectly. I was like, fuck! I forgot how dangerous it is just chewing. This is no joke. God damn. The best person at giving blowjobs probably looks like this. For a second, I thought you had posted an image of the protagonist of Lifeline. Have you guys played Lifeline? Classic, rare, short-haired female. Excellent fucking game. I played it in Japanese. It's probably the closest that I felt like I was in anime playing a video game back in the day. The amount of like vocal back and forth that she was capable of doing. I don't know about the English version, but it's an entire game in which you're the operator and you're telling this bitch to do what you want her to do. And she has like a pretty crazy vocabulary, and it really does kind of feel like you're in an anime and you're talking to a girl the entire time. If you're doing like traditional anime responses, it's kind of seamless, at least in Japanese. I don't know how good the English version is. Why is she a bitch though? Damn. Okay, she's not a bitch. She's just a stupid airhead who can't choose to do things without you telling her to do them, because that's how the gameplay works. Don't call the hoes bitches, Ball. I'm sorry. She's a great thought. I respect her thoughtness very much. BB just loves using that word. Bitch, please. I would never call a woman a bitch. Why do the bossy black woman and the gay guys get to call women bitches, but I don't get to? The non-Japanese version is broken because you need to use the broken English Japanese people use. I don't think it's that bad. Have you actually played it? I've seen some people play the English version a little bit, and it doesn't look very bad. I think definitely its best version is if you have like fully anime-fied your brain and you play it in anime language. Telling women what to do the game? Yes. The female cannot make decisions on her own, even if it's as simple as like shoot the object on the left. I'm just saying that back in the day, video games were slightly more creative than they are right now. As soon as we had mic technology in the PS2 era and Dreamcast era, they're like, what if we had a video game in which the primary form of interactiveness was just talking with the character? Like, technology was something that people were trying to explore and figure out the possibilities for what you could do with it. It genuinely became more consistent when you were doing the racist accent. I just remember that I was playing it when I was in high school, and I was in a very small apartment with my mother, and there was a time in which I was playing the video game in the middle of the night and yelling at the screen for her to shoot because I was so deep inside the anime zone. There was like a scene in which she's like, no, I can't do it. I can't shoot a monster that used to be human. And you're like, you gotta shoot her. Just shoot her! And I was like yelling at it, and my mother woke up and she was like, shut the fuck up! I was like, Mom, you don't understand. I'm having an anime moment here. You don't get it, Mom. If I don't tell her to shoot the monster, she's gonna die. Once again, Mother's interfering with me trying to save the planet. Mom, you don't get it! This is my anime moment, Mom! I had moments like that, except I was yelling at my friend in Overwatch. I mean, this is a pretty common gamer issue. Your family not understanding that you're communicating with your teammates, which is why you have to yell racial slurs into the mic. I mean, you can encounter these anime moments of the family not understanding gamer problems as if you just turn on any kind of Call of Duty game in the last 15 years and you hear the mic chatter in which the person has their mic on and it's just like a kid yelling various N-words and their parents are like, "Shut the fuck up, Trevor!" Like, "Mom, no! I have to cap point B, Mom! Shut the fuck up, Trevor! You have school tomorrow!" You hear N-words? You definitely do. My favorite one isn't the squeakers, though. My favorite one is always, like, the wife. The wife's being, "God damn it! Dave, you have work tomorrow! Shut the fuck up, bitch!" "I'm capping point B right now, bitch! God damn it! You can't tell me what I have to do! It's gaming time!" Crying baby in the background, yes. The most common is just mic static. It's just like breathing because people forgot to turn off their mic. The second most common is just like vaguely heard rap in the background. Just like someone playing music through their speakers with their mic on. The breathing with the rap is my favorite. It kind of drives me crazy, honestly. Just like, God damn it, bitch, just turn off your mic. Dog barking relentlessly, yeah. One of the great technological innovations of Call of Duty was when they figured out that they should offer their users a mute everybody button instead of having to open the scoreboard and just have to mute each user individually. That helped you save a lot of time. I actually subscribe to YouTubers that still play Call of Duty, even in the year 2026. And there was a nice classic Call of Duty moment in his replays that he left in on the video. Let's see if I can find the video. It's pretty fucking great. I was just like, God damn, I can't believe this is 2026. It's like I'm fucking back in my childhood.
What is going on, guys? Fortunate here. Welcome back to the channel. Hold on, let me get this kill. Oh, there's 3. Hold up, what is going on? That is really bad right there. Okay, it's fine though. We got 2 kills. There's a guy over here. 3. All right. I am still not completely used to the place. All right, we got the dogs, and that's really bad. But we got the dogs. We're 12-1. We're gonna call. like that. The dogs are getting a bunch of kills. This is a great opening game. After this ends, I will show you the current. If this was a domination game, but we'll get there. Let's call us in real quick just to get the XP plus 200. No, is that guy okay?
Even the sound.
Like, he was like switching weapons or something. 34-3.
I'm trying to find the electrician conversation. God damn it. Oh, here we go.
I have a crazy TDM contract available, which is 85 kills. That'll give me a lot of.
What were they talking about?
Points, so we are sticking with TDM for the moment.
Probably like the barn you're talking about. Probably
the barn you're talking about.
Who is speaking right now?
Is probably 120, 240. Well, these things are irrigation pumps, 480 services and things like that. Well, they only use them for. Sometimes they don't even ever use them because the meters, those meters you can't turn off and on.
Bro,
those meters you can't turn off and on.
Who is speaking in this game, dude?
You gotta install the meter and back and forth, and then 2 weeks later he wants it done again.
I don't know what just happened, dude. I literally have no clue.
I think he's talking about like a voltage of a irrigation pump. I'd watch BB play Call of Duty, the good old days. Black Ops 1 in 2026, goddamn, yeah, because they re-released, not even just like a remaster, they're just like, here's the same fucking games again, play them again on like PlayStation 5, I think. Everybody is just like, they're back in and they're all like leveling up again. They're doing the same rank up treadmill again in fucking 2026 because people actually just want to play the same games forever. What about the vid where the kid poops himself? Well, that isn't like people, that isn't something that's happening in a public lobby. That's him actually like fucking streaming it. That's the crazy part. It's his stream. Gun and ball gamers. The one that I remember that's closest to people just like fucking talking is Chocolate Milk Gamer. This one. No, not that. Game Kid on mic. This one right here.
No, I'm getting first claim, so I have to turn my TV off. No, you're not. I have to. Yeah, but what now? It's a clan match. Clan match. Why? I need it up. I need it up. No, I have to. It's a clan match. I have to. No, I have to.
It gets way better.
Mom, don't turn it off. Mom, why didn't I have it up loud?
Mom!
You're not in bed yet. Well, I need it up loud. Mom, I need it up. Whatever. I need it up. Why will I have to get off? Why? That's stupid. You always do that all the time. You never let me play it. You always get off. Get off. You have to get off. It's time to get off. I'm going to bed. It's time to get off. Turn it down. You never let me have
The fact that the mouth moves while the kid talks is the funniest shit ever.
So we can right now. So I get it up. Why? 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 Okay. Why? Why? Why do I have to... I want to play. But that doesn't mean that I should have to get off. No? That's bull. I want chocolate milk, not this.
I want chocolate milk.
He said that he didn't bring me a drink. I don't want a Mountain Dew. I want chocolate milk now. I want chocolate milk now. I want chocolate milk now. Why? That's what I want. Why can't you get it? Yes. Mom. Get it.
Mom! Get it!
Get it.
Get it!
Mom, please get it. Why?
Why?
That's bullshit. You said you were getting a drink and you why? No. You said you were getting whatever I wanted to drink. Now I said a Mountain Dew, and now I want chocolate now you won't. That means you're lying.
That means you're lying.
Bring me chocolate milk.
Bring me chocolate milk.
Why? I want some motherfucking chocolate milk.
I want some motherfucking chocolate milk. I understand your pain, kid.
You said that you'd get it for me. Why?
I would feel bad for this mom, but I have a feeling that this is a monster of her own design.
That's fucked up.
The fact that the fridge is already stocked with Mountain Dew and chocolate milk basically needs to... It tells you everything you already need to know, right?
Bullshit.
Bullshit. Bullshit. He wanted his chocolate milk. His chocolate milk was not being provided. She said he could have anything he wanted. He wanted Mountain Dew, and now he wants chocolate milk. Nothing wrong with that. I like how I said that I figured this out. I can just use like straight lines and I'm not actually following the straight lines I drew. It helps a little bit though, but... Sometimes you trust the process, sometimes you trust the instincts. I don't trust either, honestly, which is why I have to redraw shit like 50 times before I feel good about it. Good thing that when you're working digitally, there isn't any real punishment for being indecisive, other than losing a bunch of time, I guess. Here's the hips. The hip bone. When you had to keep the whiteout handy in case you fucked up with the inking. Yeah, it's incorrect to say that when you're working on an analog pen and ink that every line you made was permanent. If you actually look at videos of professional mangaka and stuff like that, of their process, a lot of them just have like a shit ton of whiteout. It's difficult because as you apply more and more whiteout, it starts to become like bulky on the page, and it can like create shadows during the printing process. But those guys did not treat ink like a one-time permanent thing. They would just like white out their shit again and again. And if they really didn't like it, they would just like draw it on a separate piece of paper and just like paste it directly on top of the piece of paper that they had started working on. Ink was not like a permanent, you have to one-shot it medium the way that like people are like, no, you have to become decisive. Wrong. You can still be super indecisive even when you're working on pen and paper. Shouldn't the hip bones be lower because it looks like there's no space for the ribs? It's more like the ribs need to be higher. It's actually, I think it's correct. Goes like this. The hip goes up, and then it comes back down like this. And then the vagina would be here. And then the ribs go like this. And there's enough to have a circle in between. No, I think it's correct. Body length is kind of variable between people. Yeah, this is correct. I have long-ass body. Japanese people tend to have longer-ass bodies. In reality, the most common body type is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 heads tall. And then so you'd be at like 1, 2, 3. So this would be the waist. Proportion-wise. This is an actual typical body. But if you draw an actual typical body like this, the legs end up looking like super stubby, even if this is like a realistic body proportions. A little taller than this, but what we're told is to draw like this, 8, 9 at least, sometimes even 10. If you're getting into the clamp mode, you get to like 10 or 12. But Let's give him like a 9, right? So instead of it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So you want the waist to be all the way up here. This is the Marvel in general heroic body type. And a lot of people in the real world actually do have this body type. It's common among a lot of African runners and stuff like that. East Africans have this body type, most common. Supermodel proportions, yes. Highly desired 7.5 to 8 heads. So, if we look at some of the models that we're using right now, you don't think this is weird at all, but with the high heels, for example, Sally Whitemane, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's her waist. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. She's a solid like 10 plus heads tall, even if you don't like count the high heels. But we don't look at this and be like, that's unrealistic. Everybody has gotten so used to these heroic proportions. What that ass, by the way. For example, a good example in which everyone was like, those legs look stubby. Monster Hunter Wilds, what's her name? Blacksmith. Gemma. So, if you look at this image specifically, the standing image, this is an image when everybody who saw it on the internet was like, her legs look too short, she looks too stubby. But if you actually count the body proportions, 1 head, 2 head, 3 head, 4 head, there's the waist, 5 head, 6 head, 7 head, 8 head. She's actually like a solid 8 heads tall, and then she just has her legs bent a little. But even at 8 heads tall, and like having the waist at the 4 heads, the halfway point, with the legs bent, this is enough to make her look like a fucking weird midget, stubby body, because realistic proportions in our eyes, we've gotten so used to like 10 heads tall when we look at art and stuff like that, that having even like vaguely realistic proportions suddenly makes them look like, you know, like a weird midget. Poor Gemma getting shit. Capcom tried to make attractive females, and people are like, she's attractive, but we need her to be more attractive. She got that pear-shaped figure. She doesn't even have a pear-shaped figure, man. It's just like the pose at which they like took her. Our standards for the human body have gotten fucked up. No wonder nobody is reproducing. When we're like, who is this mid-female? This is why high-waisted jeans got popular. True. When this is your body type, all you need to do is wear the high-waisted jean that goes up to your fucking, like, your fucking rib cage. How to make yourself look hotter. Put on the mask. Put on the bangs. Put on a turtleneck. Take the high-waisted jeans that go all the way up to here. See? Now suddenly, your legs look way, way longer. Interesting how that works, doesn't it? Even though the waist is in the same location. You're fucking tricking the male gaze once again by having this long area here when the waist is actually here. If people think Gemma needs improvement, they should never leave the house. Well, that isn't helping because she's in the video game, so you still have the same problem even if you don't leave the house. It's not people complaining about reality, it's people complaining about the video games, and they require the Stellar Blade body type. Now that's a Coomer body right there. The Koreans, they don't give a fuck. They're going all in. I bet Stellar Blade Eve is like about 12 heads tall, probably. Let's see if we can find a full body image of her. I can only find the, well, here's a toy. Standard Korean body type. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She's like 10 heads tall. But what's important is that her thighs are super thick. Each thigh must be like 1.5 times the thickness of the face. Anti-male gaze shit did so much harm. Women just angry that men be horny. It do be like that. Buy this statue? I do not. I will not buy that statue. I have not even bought the game. I'll buy the Stellar Blade short-haired tomboy game if they release a DLC in which she calls me Oji-san. Ooh, stop looking at my body, you creepy Oji-san. You're such a pervert. If she says that to me, I'll buy the game. BB needs realism too. After I bought my cell phone yesterday, I went to the local government office, which is why I didn't get any drawing done, but I had to give them the documents for me the moving documents. So I went to the city office, and the person who was manning the local, how do you call it, the moving permits section of it was probably a girl in her early 20s. I can't tell because she was wearing the mask. And when I was asking questions, she called me an Oni-san, which is like, it is the younger version of Oji-san or Os-san. And I was thinking, like, I'm 39 and I'll be 40 in a few months. At one point, does you as a young female, start subconsciously, I'm sure that she was calling me Oni-san subconsciously, instead of making the calculated being like, in my mind I'm calling him Oji-san, but I will call him Oni-san because this is a bar kind of situation. I don't think she was making that calculation. So I was thinking, like, at what point do you start making the calculation of calling middle-aged dudes Oji-san? You've still got it. I mean, it's also part of how I'm dressed, right? I'm not dressed like a proper salary man, so it's easier for me to look like an Oni-san instead of an Oji-san. But at some point, I will 100% be an Oji-san. It makes me wonder, like, at what point do you have to start? And also, what is the word that she has to use if she wants to call me Oji-san? I don't think you're supposed to say Oji-san in general in those type of situations, but if you're working at the government office, you're not supposed to say okyaku-sama, which means, like, customer, polite form of customer. So I don't know what you're supposed to say. To me, Nick Cage always looked middle-aged, so I don't know. I haven't suffered the same way Nick Cage has. I haven't been forced to take multiple instances of plastic surgery to make me look like John Travolta. That's what aged him prematurely. The face-off operation is it's no joke, guys. The autism makes you look 10 years younger. It's actually a commonly talked about thing in which Japanese, like, semi-autistic weird people, they look like they're still like 12 or something. Except that they also tend to have, like, a receding hairline. It's like a combination of, like, they both look extremely old but extremely young. Like, their eyes are pure and full of light because they still have hope in humanity because they have 10 terabytes of child porn on their computer. But then, like, they're also, like, prematurely aging and have a receding hairline and stuff. It's very weird. There was, like, one dude in Japanese that was just, like, infamous. I don't know if I can find the image, but his eyes are just, like, he looks like a 12-year-old almost. Oh, here's a good example. I feel like this is like a typical the combination of, like, the Chigyu archetype also going bald, but yet also, like, strangely baby-faced and childish. This is like an archetype of dudes who are collecting child porn and stuff like that. You are what you consume. I mean, I don't think the things he consumed looks like this, but... Another Chigyu. "36, again, he looks both older and younger than 36 in a weird way. This is a dude who tried to take away a kid at a department store, being like, "Let's go find your mother." Again, slightly balding. What does Chigyu mean literally again? I'm sure chat can explain to you. Like, this is a typical example. 20 years old, he looks like he's 14. These guys are just happy. I like everybody looking like super happy. This just looks like the funnest time of their life. This is a woman who was arrested for not paying her taxi fee. She says, I use all of my money on hosts at Host Club. She looks super happy, 23. Chizu gyudon. It's for people who look like they have a face in which they order chizu gyudon. I don't even know if cheese gyudon is still on the menu. Good for her, I guess. Not good for her. Stop wasting your money on fucking Host Club dudes. Lady, you do not need to be wasting all that money on Hosto Club. Paying the host, pay the Go Taxi driver? Why? I mean, the Go Taxi driver doesn't have to become number one in his club. But if she doesn't pay her Oshi, then who will provide him with the money he needs? He promised he'd stick his cock in if he becomes number one at some point. Please, if you don't pay me, I'll lose my rank. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, this is actually how the host club works. I don't know if hostess clubs works like that, but I know host clubs work like this. It's the dudes are like ranked, like literally like from like 1 through 20 or whatever, and they're trying to become number one. And the way they become number one is they're ranked based on the amount of money they can extract from the people there. So when they get, like, one woman that is, like, totally into them, they're like, babe, please, I just want to become number one rank host, and in order for me to be number one, I need to spend, like, $30,000 tonight. And she's like, sure, sounds like a good idea. I find it particularly funny when there's, like, every once in a while on YouTube, you'll see, like, a video of some woman who's like, and that's when I realized I was wasting my money, and yes, Oshikatsu is a lot of fun, but after 6 years, I realized it doesn't actually do anything for me. It's like, bitch, you realize now? You're making it sound as if like you realize like the meaning of the universe. It's like, bitch, how can you not immediately realize that using $10,000 on fucking champagne so that this dude can be number one ranked in the fucking stupid host club is a waste of your money? Like, how can you not notice this? And people, like, in the comments are like, yeah, it's a controversial opinion, but I think we need to say it, that using money on host club activities is not productive. It's like, bitch, how can you not understand that from, like, the moment you open up your wallet? I don't think the girls are ranked like the males. They don't have to be. Men wasting money on the woman and booze is tales as old as time. Men are like, it is my duty to waste all my money. There's actually a saying in Japanese of edoko, which is like Tokyo-born native dudes. There's a saying that says yoigoshi no kane wa motanai, which means you don't own money that lasts more than the night. Like, you get paid, and then like you use it, you drink all of it during that night, so then you have to go and work the next day. And this was considered to just be like, not necessarily a positive accent, but like, you know, it was cool that you were a, you know, Tokyo-born native and you didn't give a fuck about money and you would waste all of your money. This is like a really classic phrase. Women, you have to create like this whole parasitic emotional dependence setup where the guy's like, I need you, babe. We're gonna climb the ranks together. And she's like, yeah, he needs me. He's relying on me. I have to pay for the champagne tower or else nobody else will. Whereas dudes are just like, LMAO. Give money to women, haha. That's just sad. No wonder no one's having kids. I don't know if that's why people aren't having kids, because people were having kids in the 90s like a fucking ton, and they were also wasting money on host clubs and shit like that as well, so... If anything, host clubs have gotten bigger, but stuff like hostess clubs have gone down in popularity, so... I doubt that's... Also, you know, population has dropped all over the planet, not just Japan, so... I'm surprised other countries haven't tried the Japanese models of extracting money from female customers. It seems like a relatively good idea that you might be able to transfer... But maybe not. Classic, I can make him better mentality. Yeah, at the end of the day, dudes don't really care about making women better. They just are betting on the very, very low possibility that at some point they can stick their penis inside the woman. That's really what it comes down to. Whereas women are like, I'm married to my host club, dude. It's just me and him against the world. And the only way I can support him is by wasting all of my money. Women are basically addicted to social interaction. Not just women, but especially women. This is one of the problems I don't have to worry about. I am not addicted to social interaction, so... American males are too afraid to pretend to give a shit. They would rather take the macho approach. By macho approach, do you mean taking off your shirt as grade A prime American beefcake and dancing around as a Chippendale? Yes, the host club and hostess club model, the primary currency that you're selling there is the currency of pretending that you care about other people and their silly little problems. Which is it's a pretty high price to high price to pay, because most people definitely do not give a fuck about your stupid problems. It's a lot of emotional labor, yes. As soon as some woman is like, and then my chihuahua got sick, I'd be like, bitch, your chihuahua has like 10 million genetic problems because he's been bred to be like too fucking small. My desire to be like, Lady, we shouldn't even have chihuahuas. That thing used to be a wolf. Society has bred that dog into like a tiny rat. Of course he's sick. Pretending to care about someone's issues when you truly do not care about them is a lot of work. I think they're half fox or something. I do not think so, but whatever. That would be like a best case scenario. I do not think the Chihuahua is half fox. Maybe half rat. Masking is a task in itself. Considering that a lot of female socialization is masking, and they do it for free when they interact with each other, it's a shock that A, there aren't more hostess clubs, but I guess they can't support themselves financially. It's not really a supply issue. I guess the bigger question is, why do women fall for the men masking it so hard then, when they spend so much time masking themselves? I can understand it if, like, you're on the autism scale like myself and you don't understand the concept of lying and everything you say is 100% honest, and it took me like 15 years to figure out that people were lying to me and they just don't just say shit. I was like well out of my teenage period in which I was like, maybe I should stop just like fucking saying the thing off the top of my head at all times. Autistic masking on top of regular female masking is exhausting. Yeah. They're so starved for connection that hearing through validation clouds their judgment. People should just go to church. Go to the box and tell the Catholic priest about their problems. And when the Catholic priest is like, ma'am, I think you're supposed to confess your sins, not about how much you fucking hate Deborah. You'd be like, no, wait. I'm getting to the sinful part soon. Father, just give me a few more moments talking about what a stupid bitch Deborah is. Do you ever have the realization the girl was flirting with you when you were too autistic to know years later? No, because my mother would be like, she's flirting with you, when I would tell her about what's going on, and I'd be like, bitch, how do I know? You're just saying stuff, Mom. She's like, no. When a woman gives you a rose on Valentine's Day, that means she's flirting with you. I'm like, yeah, but there's no name attached to the rose, Mom. How can I know who that is? She's like, no, you're supposed to find her. I'm like, that's impossible. Am I fucking Sherlock Holmes? How am I supposed to deduce who this fucking is? Literally impossible. So yeah. In real time, my mother has informed me many times that a female was flirting with me, and I was like, nah, Mom. You're just guessing. What is this nonverbal communication you're talking about? Nobody does that. If a woman doesn't walk up to me with a signed contract for sex and marriage, how do I know that she's into me? It's impossible. How the fuck do you find them if it's nameless? I know, right? My mother was like, you're supposed to find them. I'm like, what? You think I'm supposed to go around and, like, ask people like I'm a fucking detective? Is this Ace Attorney investigation segment? Like, what the fuck is this? Your mom is funny as hell. People say I'm funny as hell. I think for people who are capable of non-verbal communication, such as my mother, I must seem like, lacking various abilities, which I am. It's pretty depressing. Did she give you a look or a wink? No, this is Japan, so... There was definitely a time... I was at, like, one of my cousin's weddings in Hawaii, and I was chilling on the beach, and there was like a woman in a bikini in the general vicinity, and I had been swimming and stuff, and my mother came back and from doing something else, and she's like, "You do realize the female over there is checking you out and has been making eye contact with you?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about, Mom? Stop being weird. Nobody does that." And when you take into account that A, I never go outside, and B, my mother isn't always around to notify me of shit, and even off the top of my head, there's been several occasions in which I have been informed that I am missing nonverbal communication cues about female interaction. If I wasn't so, like, horribly autistic, I guess I probably would have had sex at some point in my life. I'm not horribly ugly enough to not have sex at all, I guess, is the moral here. However, I have no idea that anybody's giving me any kind of signals, so... Women, if you are interested in breeding with me, you have to bring the waiver form properly documented and signed. It's the only way it's going to happen. I think you're capable of things. It unfortunately just takes more energy out of you. I'm capable of things in brief periods of productivity, of going outside, but there is a cost to be paid. It's like in the shonen manga, in which they're like, "No, MC-kun, if you use your forbidden power this time, there'll be life-threatening consequences." And he's like, "I have to do it." And nothing bad ever happens. The most is what happens is like, "Oh, now you can't use your power for a while." Or there'll be like a brief scene in which he's in the hospital, and they're like, "But he recovered." That's basically what I'm like with going outside and doing, you know, grown-up shit. It's like, "No, BaalKun, if you do that," it's like, "I have to go all out, sensei. It's the only way to fill out my taxation forms." You need a seeing pussy dog when a woman is trying to signal you, it barks? I mean, unironically, they say that you should, like, get a dog for dating and stuff because it's like a conversation starter. People will come and pet the Shiba. That's how you lure them into your, like, serial killer basement. You have a cute dog. It shouldn't be this hard. If you're interested, just tell me. Women somehow being the ones who get to choose, like, which men they want and how, like, the courtship ritual works, and then also wanting to not have to do anything themselves has had devastating effects on the autistic breeding chances. It's shocking that the autism gene hasn't been wiped out after thousands of years. You'd think that, you know, the fact that we can't fucking talk to women and, like, figure out what kind of signals they're sending us would mean none of us would copulate and create people to pass our genes on, but for some reason it still happens, which is why I have a theory that, like, you can be kind of like half autistic, be capable enough to have sex, and then, like, you pass it on. When one half autistic male and one half autistic female have sex, then they end up with a fully autistic child, and then that fully autistic child doesn't get to have sex. Children also work for men hilariously. I mean, isn't the minimum, the easiest way to get women to approach you is to have, like, a wedding ring, is what I've heard many times online. is dudes be like, I've tried to date in the past so hard, and no women are interested in me. And as soon as I put on a fucking wedding ring, all these women start talking to me. Weird situation that is. No wonder cuck porn is so prevalent. Woman wedding ring or baby toddler? Just get like Baby Yoda. Ladies, have you noticed my Baby Yoda? He's a Jedi Master and he's only 2 years old. I would feel so dirty. The female sees wedding ring or baby and they're like, he must be, you know, prime breeding material. It makes sense, right? I hear that, I don't know about male gorillas, but I hear among female gorillas, the most popular female gorillas as mates are the ones that are like experienced mothers who have a strong track record of giving birth to healthy babies. So even the gorillas are like, she has succeeded at having children in the past. She's trustworthy. Just borrow your cousin's baby. Why try and attract females when you could just borrow your cousin's baby and then raise her to become your future wife? Haha, just kidding, Twitch. I would never do that. That's a classic Japanese novel idea, by the way. Didn't someone do that? Someone did that in like the year 1000 AD in classic Japanese history. Not history, it's a novel, I guess, so it's fiction. I like how if I type in Lady Murasaki, the top of people also ask is, did Lady Murasaki love Hannibal? She cares deeply for Hannibal, even falling in love with him as he reminded her greatly of his Uncle Robert. She tries to steer Hannibal away from revenge, asking him to forgive his sister's killers. The fucking Hannibal wiki. In Hannibal Rising, she is the widowed wife of Count Robert Lecter and aunt to Hannibal Lecter, with whom she later becomes involved. She hails from Japan, where she learned the traditions of her samurai ancestors. Lady Murasaki, a famous samurai, of course. Her whole family was killed in the Hiroshima bombing. Oh my god. They literally just took, like, every single bullet point that you give to, like, a 9th grader on facts about Japan, and they were like, she's a samurai, she's called Lady Murasaki, and her parents were killed in the fucking nuclear bomb. She keeps an ancient suit full of armor as well as several swords belonging to an ancestor, caring for them to honor the great swordsman. Holy fuck. I stopped watching Hannibal Rising, even though it was on Netflix, after like the 4th episode, because it was too low IQ for me, and I'm glad I stopped. ChatGPT summarized Japan in 5 sentences. I'm surprised that they didn't also put in like, she comes from a village next to Mount Fuji, and she rode the bullet train to America. She is also a high-tech robot technician, besides, and shows love for her haiku poetry while she's caring for her samurai sword. She also knows ninja techniques. Her favorite food is sushi, yes. It says Hiroshima instead of Nagasaki. Hiroshima is the slightly more famous nuclear bomb site, and because they're doing everything based on the most famous bullet points you can find about Japanese information. She drives her Honda Civic. I wonder if Honda Civic is the most like basic ass Japanese car in American psyche now. You don't actually see that much Honda in Japan. I've actually been thinking about this because I was a big Honda driver when I was in America, and Honda Civic is like the car. It's like you're either driving a Toyota Prius or a Honda Civic, right? If you're in an American city or something. But in Japan, see, Honda they have to compete with like all the other Japanese car makers, and they're not really distinct from the other Japanese car makers. Because there's no Suzuki or Mitsubishi presence in the States, you know? So it's just Honda and Toyota. But in Japan, you have to compete with all sorts of other Japanese car makers who make similar vehicles, like similar to the Civic, so... Gotta get a K-Truck. I don't know if K-Trucks are popular in the mainstream. At least not when Hannibal was coming out. They seem to be getting popular now. Her family was killed in Hiroshima is just like, it's such a fucking cherry on top. My honorable samurai ancestors. My samurai sword. I see a decent amount of Mitsubishi in Canada. I almost never see it in America. You see a Lancer every once in a while. It's very rare in America, interestingly enough. It's not that common in Japan either. But yeah, Suzuki is definitely, I think, the big one that you see in Japan that you never see in America. Also, there's more Mazdas that aren't Miatas. There's a lot of, like, normal Mazda vehicles. In America, if they have a Mazda, it's like usually like a sport car adjacent, and that's about it. Mitsubishis are pretty rare nowadays, but how can I drive my Lancer Evolution downhill against the Toyota 86 and be like, Nandato? My Lan Evo is losing? That's impossible. I have the superior vehicle. How is he catching up to me? His drifting technique is too powerful. Niren Drifto dato? Subaru is in like an entire whole class of just like every Pacific Northwestern like upper state that gets snow is like fucking Subaru country, right? I think Subaru does significantly more business in America than it ever does in Japan. They have just like a shit ton of marketing in America. In Japan, Subaru is actually considered to be like an otaku car. There's so many otakus who are like, no, Subaru is a great car. It has all-wheel drive. It's so cool. I'm gonna buy a Legacy and put a bunch of like Miku stickers on the outside. It's become kind of like a Chigyu car. Subaru is super popular in Pacific Northwest. Any place in America that gets like any kind of snowfall, Subaru is probably like, it has a huge presence, right? Especially because like one of the huge drawbacks to all-wheel drive is that it is constantly using more fuel economy. The fuel economy sucks. But Americans, when they see like 20 miles to a gallon, they're like, oh, that's some great Japanese fuel economy there. You get a whole 20 miles out of a gallon? Goddamn, son. It's like, dude, that's fucking horrible. But the American brain has been like cucked so hard by driving 15-ton trucks to the grocery store. They can't help themselves. Alright guys, I'm going to end the stream here and prepare to see if I can get a phone call from the utilities people. Fucking Christ. I thought I would get like a morning phone call, but I guess not. See you around, guys. Good night.